The fourth tip is to schedule an extended conversation involving the arts chairs, dean, provost, and in some institutions the president, to clarify the philosophical basis for the arts on campus and to articulate the ties to mission. This allows for all of the key players to work through individual differences in espoused theories, because we are all holding different theories of why the arts are in our institutions. And unless you've had that conversation around the table, say why the arts, why are the arts important, and how do we articulate that? You've got people operating with very different theories. And then what happens is when you have a crisis, all these theories play out in actions and people can't understand why this person's choosing to do this and this person's choosing to do that. Taking the time to work through that is very helpful, particularly around issues of artistic freedom. If helpful, develop a formal statement on artistic freedom and responsibility that you can cut and paste into all the letters you're going to send to those angry people. Tip number 5. Develop and rehearse how to work effectively together through potential crisis scenarios involving artistic freedom. Who gets the phone call? This should involve arts faculty, again, the whole list of players, as well as your marketing and communications department. Involve an experienced faculty member from the faculty senate who might be well versed in the complexities of the matter. So you have the kind of the faculty governance perspective, and the faculty who might be junior in that room feel that there's some voice representing them in the conversation. But take the time to think those things through, because you will want to have those protocols. If you ever find yourself in that situation that our colleague from Tarleton State found himself in, you're in the middle of a hornet's nest. Or Father Jenkins at Notre Dame over the vagina monologues 3 years ago. You know, you suddenly are right in the heart of a storm. And so having those things thought through so you've got those protocols in place can help you. Work to build trust and mutual respect with and among arts faculty. Insist on a no surprises environment with those folks and have that go both ways. No surprises for them and no surprises for you. When a potential crisis arrives on your door, stop to gather the information first before you draw any conclusion, and definitely before you make any decision. Things are never what they first appear to be. Take the time to understand that. Always remember that we are in a learning community, and this is part of learning. Ask in each situation, how does this artwork or choice contribute to the education of the student? First and foremost. Or the development of new knowledge consonant with the program or course learning objectives or institutional mission and vision. Is this an opportunity for learning? This is, I think, the beauty, although criticism is inevitable, but this is the beauty of the way Father Jenkins handled that matter of the vagina monologues at Notre Dame. He created panels and required for the performance to go forward that there be a panel afterwards that had people that are on various positions on the value and work of that play, and that was an educational experience tied to the work that was valuable for that institution. And it was also the last year that the students came forward and wanted to perform it. Kind of took all the energy out of it. And then finally, and sometimes this is hard to remember when folks are coming at you, remember that you're in a university or college and not a church. And there's an effort to always want to conflate the two as if they are one and the same thing. And an academic institution is not the church. And that there are different objectives and purposes when we gather together in community as an institution. As I was writing this work, I was recalling what it was like to train and prepare actors with great fondness. And one of the things that Dick is smiling here. One of the things that you do when you train actors is you teach them something called sense memory. And sense memory is a way of recalling past experience where you ask the student to identify a very important moment in their past where they had a very strong emotional feeling. And you ask them to begin to describe it in terms of everything that they can remember through their senses, what they remember smelling, what they remember tasting, hearing. And as they work through that, for some students, they'll actually re-experience the emotional feeling authentically by recalling that. And so as I was remembering that experience, even in my own life as an actor, that sudden moment of feeling completely transported in a different place outside of myself and a different person, I remembered that I would say to myself sometimes that this must be what it feels like to be close to God, because you experience something that is otherworldly in that journey. And in thinking about that, I recall a group of Lutheran artists and philosophers got together and did a book called Translucence. I don't know if you've seen this work. It's Religion, the Arts, and Imagination. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of essays written in 2000. It focuses on the power of art to transport or transcend reality, which they call translucence. And Curtis Thompson, who's at Thiel College, described it this way: the world conveys God, and God is present in, with, and under particular realities of the world. And translucence suggests a shining through, from the Latin verb translucere. It suggests the capability of the natural and human worlds to allow God's light to shine through, while that which shines can be called glory. Interpreting God's translucent world is only possible through the imagination. Our imagining makes possible those powerful, translucent life experiences that enrich and ennoble us, that give us chills, that make us deeply sense that we're undergoing something extraordinary. In this state of deep insight and understanding of the human condition, in ways that transcend the rational, this state of translucence, of seeing God's glory dimly through creative imagination, drives many of us who choose the arts as a pathway to knowledge and to wisdom. Those of us at faith-based institutions need faculty and students engaged in this struggle to capture translucence. And it is up to those of us charged with academic leadership to ensure that these people have both the resources and the freedom to reach toward the heavens. In closing, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to think about this with you today. Whenever I prepare a group of young artists to go into academic administration, particularly at the department chair level, I ask them to spend time figuring out how they could engage their senior leadership to reflect on the role of the arts at their institution. I said, if you could convince your president or your provost to give a talk someday on this topic and force them, because they're going to face a group of people and have to go on record publicly to speak about it. In the process of doing that, they're going to get quite clear about it. And ultimately, that's going to help you in the long run. And I realized that 2 years ago that John Stephen Paul was pulling that on me. And so it was a pleasure in his honor to take the time to think through these issues with you. And it's been very helpful for me to do it, and it's been a blessing to do so. And I hope it's at least given you some things to think about and talk about over this time together. Thank you very much.
Well, I think you can see why those of us here